Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and this video is going to be talking about power animals, totem animals, ally animals, and familiars. I've had a few people email me, and then I've had some questions come up in a couple of the classes I've been doing, asking me to make a video and explain what the difference is between all these different spiritual animals. Okay, so basically I'm going to break these up as to familiars is separate from power animals, totem animals, and ally animals. And I want you to understand, as in every video on my channel, that this is just my opinion and my understanding. It doesn't make it 100% truth. It doesn't make it a fact. It is how I view and how I have come to understand this topic. Okay, so your power, totem, or ally animal. These are the characteristics of that animal. They are usually animals that we attract into our lives, or we call into our lives by an emotional need that we may have, or a spiritual need that we may have. Okay, so they are some sort of animal that will appear in our life. They may appear in dreams, they may appear in physical manifestation, they may appear in meditations that you do, on spirit visions or journeys that you do. So they can appear in the physical and they can appear in the non-physical, okay? What they do is they reflect our inner spiritual nature or need that we may have. They will allow us to understand ourselves, what's going on with us in our life. They may help us understand more about what we've gone through, what we are going through, and what we may be going through. They reveal, any spiritual goals or emotional or non-physical goals we have in the future. Like I said, they may help us to understand what we are, drawing into our life, or we are going to be manifesting in our life. They will channel energy frequencies that we will work with in order to strengthen and empower our own spiritual nature. So we channel their energy, their frequency, or we tap into it or align with it, and their energy and their spirit allows us to strengthen ourselves so that we may be able to handle the situations that are coming, or work through something we're involved in at the moment, or work through something that we are carrying forward from our past. They will focus on attributes that we internalize ourselves and we see as their traits. So for example, if we are having visions about a lion, and it's appearing in our meditations, and it seems like everywhere we go we see images of a lion, and then it would be most beneficial for us to then sit down and say, okay, when I see a lion, this is what I imagine the attributes of this lion are. And then look at those attributes and see how we can apply it into what's going on with us. What energy, what attributes of that lion can we tap into in order for us to be able to work through whatever it is that we're going through. We also understand our own totem animal, and we can see how it interacts with other totems. So if we, at this point, we're going to use the example of the lion, we find that this totem or this power animal or this animal ally is the lion for us at this time, and say our significant other, their animal is a zebra. And we can look at how, and we understand that it's a zebra because they told us or whatever, and we look at the attributes that are attributed to the zebra, and we look at the attributes that we are working with the lion, and see how those two animals interact and what the relationship is between the two. And that may reveal to us different things about what's going on with the relationship between the two of us and how those animals are interacting. And it may reveal to us things that we hadn't considered, but will be very insightful and helpful. We can also have several power animals or animal totems or animal allies around us and working with us at the same time. For me, the ladybug and the cricket are ones that are constantly with me, and they both work with me at the same time, because each of them have different characteristics or attributes that are helpful and beneficial for me to work with. So you can have more than one power totem animal or animal ally. So that's what that is. So familiars are different. I have heard people use all these words interchangeably, and for me, they are not the same. Power animal, totem animal, and animal ally, I use interchangeably because for me, they mean the same thing. However, my familiar is very different than my power animal or animal ally. A familiar is a single specific animal. It's not the species, but it's a single specific animal. So for example, my cat, my black cat, where is he? Alchemy! Alchemy, come here! Come here. He came over to me and then ran away. Come here. Meow. Do you hear him? Okay. Alchemy here is my familiar. He is a black long-haired cat. He's actually a mix between a coon cat and, oh, he's gonna play with the dog now, a coon cat and a domestic. Now, black cats could be my power totem or animal ally, but Alchemy, this specific black cat, is my familiar. So, you know, I could have black cats as the totem animal or the power animal, but Alchemy himself, this particular black cat, is my familiar. Usually, familiars reside on the physical plane, but they also can reside on the non-physical plane. Obviously, my black cat Alchemy resides here with me on the physical, but his essence, his spirit, when he passes, when his physical body dies, he still may be my familiar, and he may just reside on the spiritual plane. Which brings us to the idea that a thought form that is conjured and empowered on the astral plane could also be your familiar. So, say for example, I am creating this thought form, not Alchemy, but a different, say I've created a thought form. I'm not going to talk about how to create a thought form right now, but I've created this thought form, this animalistic energy, this thought form, that could become my familiar. It can be a spirit that exists in a physical body. So actually, in this example of Alchemy being my familiar, I know that Alchemy, I call him Alchemy, but the spirit of Alchemy is actually a previous cat that I owned named Bandit. So even though this black cat, I call him Alchemy, the spirit that is within Alchemy is Bandit. Bandit reincarnated so that he could join me on the physical level again and work with me. And in the time between when Bandit's physical body died and he resided in the non-physical and then took on another physical form, he was still my familiar. So at that time, he was a spirit on the astral plane that still was my familiar. Familiars are very sensitive to psychic energies or energetic vibrations, which is why when we do ritual or when we're casting spells or when we're doing magical workings, our familiar may come and join us. And it's because they are a help. They are not only sort of a guardian, but they also help us gather or empower ourselves with energy so that we can do our work. They can also take on excess energy while we're doing our work. They definitely, they act as a radar for you. They would know when there is energy that is aligned with your purpose and energy when is not aligned with your purpose. They are very sensitive to the energies that we might not be. They do sometimes react visibly to the presence of other energies, whether they're unseen entities, whether they're just sort of reverberations from other energies, but they do sense that, and they can let you know, and they will react in a visible ways to let you know if they are a physical entity, if they're a physical being, and they may give you a sense in a non-physical way to let you know that there is energies that are not aligned with your purpose. So they are very helpful, but they're different from a power animal, a totem animal, or an animal ally. Personally, I haven't ever had more than one familiar at a time, and so I'm not sure if that's something that actually happens on a regular basis. But for me, establishing this relationship with my familiar is a very important part of my practice, just as establishing relationships with the quarters is very important. And I sort of find that my familiar can be quite helpful in balancing out energy or taking on some energy, even carrying out tasks that might be helpful for me, or I ask my alchemy. I ask my familiar to help me with. He is a very integral part of my spiritual practice, and I would truly be lost without him. He is a friend, he is a confidant, he is a part of my being. And my relationship with my power, totem, ally animals is not quite as intimate. So if you have experiences you'd like to share in regards to your familiar or totem animals, I would love to hear it. Please make a video response. If you do, please put the link down in the comment section. If you have any other insights to add, please do that as well. And anything else that you wanted to talk about in regards to power, totem animals, ally animals, or familiars. And as always, I love you. Mwah.